Think about the difference between a nice, fresh meal, perhaps eaten by a fireplace, and rotten, spoiled, moldy, crusty food. Think about the difference between a young, healthy body and a mummy, uh, thousands of years preserved in some or another cavern or pyramid, mausoleum, or something like that. Think about the difference between um, inactivity, right, depression, uh, silence, and such, and business and bustling and hustling and so on. Why is it that certain sorts of things tend to draw us and have an allure and have an attraction for us? Needless to say, in the aforementioned examples, the fresh food and being healthy and so on. Generally, obviously, specific circumstances. I'm a mummy expert. I'm interested in mummies, but aside from that, and other things do not thus draw us, do not thus present an allure. It could be suggested that certain things in life, like certain situations, certain activities, certain things, they, for us, more so reflect and represent and indicate that which we are really after, which is something like life, light, excitement, activity, existence, being, goodness, greatness, glory, eternity, and perhaps so on. Right? Keep going with those words. And other things to us suggest the annihilation of all of that, the converse of all of that, the time after a loud, exciting party or night out. Now it's all quiet, everybody has left. The crickets are chirping. Again, the time after an exciting life has ended and everybody's leaving the funeral home and the casket is still there. The time after some sort of grand goal has been achieved and the applause has died down, right? And now it's all silence. Now what's next? So we see that these times bring one sort of feeling, times like that, and other times, such as the aforementioned ones, there's a big concert and everybody's clapping. Perhaps I'm the performer, everybody's looking at me, or I'm part of the crowd, part of the excitement. Right? A baby is born, spring comes, flowers bloom, all that kind of stuff. That's another kind of emotional state that is associated with that. So again, here the idea would be that just as the sun shines by analogy on all things, such as it does shine on, say not behind closed blinds, and yet those things are not the sun. Life, goodness, being, and so on is to us associated with certain, again, aspects of life, but is not itself those aspects of life. Now, what does that suggest to us, practically speaking, right, concretely speaking? It seems that usually, normatively, our programming, so to say, our modus operandi, is to pursue these feelings of life, goodness, excitement. I need something out there in order to make me feel alive, in order to make me feel good, in order to make me feel like life has a purpose and a point. Whatever center of, again, attention, excitement, desire is presently for me active, that's probably the center towards which I'm gravitating. Let me go check my social media for new likes, for new follows. Let me go check the news for the news today. What's new? What is going on? What are my interests? Or how are my interests unfolding? For example, my political interests. For example, did I earn more money on the stock market? Right? Let me go somewhere where there's noise and there's crowds and there's people and things are loud and exciting. Right? Holiday festivities and so on. The new movie, let me go there. Let me go to the blockbuster movie. Let me go travel somewhere where it seems to be just idyllic. That's where the happiness is hiding out, in that special place somewhere over the rainbow. So this is our default thinking. And yet, again, by analogy, if that analogy is sound, the sun shines on certain things, but those things are not the sun. Here too, goodness, life, beauty, truth, being, and such shine on certain things because we've invested desire in them, because other people are paying attention to them, because they're associated with uh, life for some or another reason, associated with freshness, newness. It could be, again, the newspaper, the first page of the newspaper and a hot cup of coffee in the morning is associated to me with the new day, right? The new life, that kind of thing. Sure. But all the same, none of those things, not the newspaper, not the vacation, not the concert, none of that is itself, obviously, life and being and goodness. What is life and being and goodness? Well, it probably is just what it is. It's like saying, what is a color, red? You can obviously use words to say, oh, red is a color. And what is a color? Well, certain wavelengths and certain interactions with the eye and the optical and this and that. But ultimately, red is red. The qualitative experience, it can't be reduced to something else nor explained through something else itself. It's concomitant, can. Again, the effect on the eye, this and that, but not itself. So just so, life and being and goodness are just what they are, just like red is just what it is. The question then would be, practically, how do we truly get to it? Right? And we said that the default kind of operation, the default programming is to pursue it through the stimulation of externalities, going somewhere, seeing something, smelling something maybe, right? This or that. However, that does not actually bring us to light and being and goodness no more than pursuing kind of there where the sun shines will lead us to the sun. We wouldn't want to go to the sun. That would be a bad idea. But theoretically speaking, if we did, it wouldn't be by following where the light rays are falling, right? There, right? It would be going to the sun. So here the question is, how do we get to life and light and goodness and such? And the answer seems to be, broadly speaking, only through character development, only through maturation, only through self forgetfulness, self sacrifice, right? Through becoming what we can be as human beings and as individuals. It's said sometimes that happiness is found inward and not outward. And that probably has some accuracy, at least in that sense, that if I don't have happiness myself and I'm just chasing it here, there, and everywhere, it's always fleeting. It's never really to be found. Right? But if we think that happiness is found inward and then we picture it's found in myself, and then I picture myself as in what I see in the mirror or my brain, and I think happiness lies like somewhere there in my skull, or it lies in my psychology, that probably also would not be accurate. We could say that happiness is an achievement at the other end of proper maturation, of proper ethical and moral growth, where we give up our claims of selfishness, of self centeredness, where we overcome our alienation from other people and from ourselves, and again, become what we can be as human beings. If we want to call that inward or happiness lies inside, that would probably be just fine. So, in summary, it suggested that what we truly want, which is that which can be described by any number of terms: light, life, goodness, beauty, truth, eternity, this, that, and the other, is reflected on any number of things, depending on the culture, depending on our particular life. Right? Sometimes we see people that are into things that to us appear completely crazy. Like, why do you have this really niche sort of hobby? Why are you so interested in like something so specific? Maybe somebody is an aficionado of some little historical period 1,800 years ago in this little part of the world. Why? What's the interest? Well, for that person, chances are, if not certainly, that represents, for some reason, life and light and being, right? To a historian, he or she may find or that feeling of being, of goodness, by studying history, by imagining some kind of period, the Renaissance, the Romantic Age, the this, the that. Right? So that would be probably why. Whatever our niche interests are, whatever society tells us, that's where we're searching for these good times, these good feelings. However, that would be like searching for the sun in that which is reflected, or in that which the sun shines on. We have to go to the sun. So just so here, we need to go to all that stuff, life, light, goodness, and so on. How do we go to it? We go to it by turning inward, so to say, in an ethical sense, in a moral sense, trying to overcome our selfishness, living a certain type of life, being truthful, being honest, treating other people the way we want to be treated, and hopefully maturing to where we can experience the sort of good that we are truly after. So we can consider it. Thank you for listening.